You ever watch someone just disappear? Not die. Not get shot or blown apart where you can see it happening. Just 1 second they're there, walking next to you, and the next second there's nothing but red mist and screaming. That's mines. My name's Robert Hayes. I was a combat engineer with the 291st Engineer Combat Battalion. We hit Omaha Beach on D-Day +2, June 8th, 1944. While the infantry was pushing inland, we had a different job. We cleared the way forward, roads, bridges, and mines. Always the goddamn mines. I was 23 years old, from Philadelphia. Before the war, I was studying civil engineering at Penn. Thought I'd build bridges, skyscrapers maybe, help construct things. The Army had other plans. Turns out when you know about engineering, they teach you how to blow things up instead of building them. And they teach you how to find the things that blow up before they blow you up. Mine warfare. The Germans were artists at it. They'd had years to perfect their techniques in North Africa, in Italy, and Russia. By the time we hit France, they'd gotten it down to a science. S-mines that jumped up to waist height before exploding. Telemines that could flip a tank. Shoe mines made of wood so our metal detectors couldn't find them. Booby traps connected to bodies, doors, anything you might touch. They mined everything. Roads, fields, beaches, forests. Sometimes in patterns, sometimes random. Sometimes with obvious signs to slow us down, sometimes hidden where you'd never expect them. Our job was to find them all before someone died. Except we didn't find them all. We couldn't. Nobody could. During training at Fort Belvoir, they made it seem manageable, scientific. Follow the procedures, use your detector, probe carefully, mark, and disarm. Step by step, safe and methodical. Training didn't prepare us for doing it with artillery falling, or sniper fire, or while watching your friends disappear in clouds of dirt and blood. Nothing prepares you for that. First week in France, we were clearing a road outside Carentan. The infantry needed it open so tanks could move up. The Germans had pulled back, but left presents behind. Always did. We'd move forward in a line, sweeping with our detectors. SCR 625 mine detectors, 20-pound pieces of shit that only worked half the time. When the detector pinged, you'd mark the spot with white tape, then get down on your belly and probe. The probe was just a thin metal rod. You'd push it into the ground at an angle, gentle as you could, feeling for resistance. If you hit something solid, you'd pray it was a rock. Then you'd dig around it with your fingers. Never a tool, always your fingers, so you could feel if you touched a tripwire or pressure plate. If it was a mine, you'd try to disarm it. If you couldn't, you'd mark it and blow it in place. If you were lucky, that is. Corporal Martinez found his first mine that day. Teller mine buried in the road. He was so proud when he dug it up, disarmed it, showed us the detonator he'd removed. See? Just like training. Found his second mine 20 feet later. Didn't even know it was there until he stepped on it. The S-mine, Bouncing Betty, we called them, jumped up to his chest height before it exploded. Sprayed ball bearings in a 360-degree arc. Got Martinez, plus 3 other guys working nearby. Martinez lived, sort of. Lost both eyes, his jaw, most of his chest. They evacuated him back to England. I heard later he died in the hospital. Infection. The other 3 died right there on the road. Thompson, Kowalski, and Diaz. All dead before they hit the ground. We'd been in France for 6 days. That night, Lieutenant Parker called us together. I know today was rough, he said, but the infantry's counting on us. The whole advance is counting on us. We have to keep moving forward. He was 24 years old, younger than some of us, trying to sound confident, trying to keep us together. 2 weeks later, Parker died, clearing mines from a bridge approach. Missed a booby trap on a dead German soldier. The body was wired to a shell. When he rolled it over to check for papers, the whole thing went up. They found pieces of him scattered over 30 yards. We got a new lieutenant, then another one after that, then another. Combat engineers had a life expectancy of about 32 days in active operations. Nobody told us that during training. In August 1944, we were pushing toward Paris. The Germans were retreating, but fighting every step and mining everything. Hedgerow country was the worst. Every field a potential minefield. Every gap in the hedgerows a perfect kill zone. The Germans would fall back, plant mines, wait for us to come through. We'd lost so many men by then that they were bringing up replacements every few days. Kids mostly, 18, 19 years old, fresh off the boat, couple weeks of training, and suddenly they were probing for mines under fire. They died fast, didn't know the tricks yet, didn't know to watch for disturbed earth, unnatural vegetation, suspicious shadows. Didn't know that the Germans would sometimes plant a small mine to find, with a bigger one underneath it. Didn't know that they'd mark safe paths for themselves, but the marks were traps for us. Didn't know until it was too late. Private Wilson, kid from Georgia, been with us for 3 days, found a marking stake the Germans had left, got excited, thought it meant a safe path. Hayes, look, they marked it for us. I tried to tell him, tried to wave him back, but he stepped forward, following the stakes. The mine was between the second and third stake, designed specifically to kill someone who thought they'd found a safe route. I was 15 feet away, close enough to see his face when he realized. That split second of understanding before the explosion. Close enough that pieces of him hit me. I didn't move for maybe 10 minutes, just sat there, covered in Wilson. Covered in what used to be a kid who'd told me that morning about his girl back home, about how he wanted to marry her when the war ended. Nobody made me move. They just worked around me. They understood. We'd all been there. Eventually, Sergeant Kowalski, different Kowalski, the first one was dead, sat down next to me. Didn't say anything. Just sat there, smoked a cigarette, offered me one. We smoked in silence. Then we got up and went back to work, because that's what you did. You kept going, kept probing, kept sweeping, kept finding the mines before they found you. Except you didn't always find them first. Lost a lot of men to exhaustion mistakes. You'd be on your 10th hour of sweeping, concentration gone, and you'd miss something. Or you'd find a mine, start disarming it, and your hands would shake from fatigue and you'd trigger it. Or you'd just stop caring. That happened too. Some men would get sloppy on purpose. Not quite suicide, but not quite caring if they lived either. Walking a little faster through swept areas. Not probing as carefully. Tempting fate, because at least fate would make a decision for them. I understood it. God help me. I understood it. The stress of mine clearing wasn't like combat. In combat, you could fight back. You could shoot at the enemy. You had some agency, some control. With mines, you were helpless. Every step might be your last. Every probe might trigger something. You were fighting against an enemy who wasn't even there anymore, who'd left behind mechanical deaths, waiting patiently for you to make one mistake. And you would make a mistake eventually. Everyone did. The question was just whether that mistake killed you or just someone near you. Both options haunted you. September, October, November. The months blurred together. Different towns, same job. Clear the mines, clear the roads, clear the fields. Don't die. Don't let your buddies die. Fail at both regularly. We developed rituals, superstitions, lucky coins, lucky socks, prayers to saints we'd never believed in before. Anything that might keep us alive one more day. Some guys stopped learning new guys' names. What was the point? They'd be dead in a week anyway. Just called everyone buddy or pal or nothing at all. I couldn't do that. Felt wrong somehow. Like if we didn't remember them, they'd disappear completely. So I learned their names, where they were from, tried to write letters to their families after they died, though I never knew what to say. Your son was a good soldier. He died quickly. Lies, usually. Most mine deaths weren't quick. You'd lie there screaming with your legs gone, bleeding out while we tried to reach you, terrified there were more mines between us and you. Sometimes we couldn't reach them. Had to listen to them die while we slowly, carefully cleared a path. By the time we got there, they were gone. The sound stayed with you. The screaming, the crying for mothers, for medics, for God, the gradual weakening, then silence. The silence was worse. I started having dreams. Not nightmares exactly, those came too. But dreams where I'd be back home, walking through Philadelphia, and every step I'd wonder if there was a mine, every sidewalk suspicious, every shadow hiding death. I'd wake up sweating, checking my legs to make sure they were still there. Some guys cracked, just broke, started crying and couldn't stop, or staring at nothing for hours. They'd get evacuated for combat fatigue. We didn't judge them. We envied them. They got to leave. The rest of us kept going. Not because we were braver, not because we had more strength, just because we hadn't broken yet. Our turn would come eventually. By December, I was one of the oldest veterans in the company. Not age. I was still just 24. But I'd been clearing mines for 6 months. Most men didn't last that long. They made me a sergeant. Not because I wanted it, because everyone ahead of me was dead. New lieutenant asked me for advice. How do you stay alive out here? I didn't have an answer. Luck, maybe. Being careful every single time. Never getting tired, never getting sloppy, never making a mistake. You don't stay alive, I finally told him. You just don't die yet. He didn't like that answer. He died 3 weeks later, missed a tripwire in the dark. I made it to the end of the war. VE Day, May 8th, 1945. Germany surrendered. We'd won. The war ended, but our job didn't. Someone had to clear all those mines, millions of them, scattered across France, Belgium, Holland, Germany, in fields and forests and beaches and towns. We kept working, kept sweeping, kept probing, kept dying. Miller died in June, month after the war ended. Hit a mine in a field we were clearing for French farmers. The war was over, but Miller was just as dead. That's when something broke in me, not dramatically, no screaming breakdown or collapse, just something fundamental cracked. I'd made it through the whole war, D-Day to VE Day, 11 months of clearing mines, beaten the odds, survived when so many others hadn't. And for what? To keep doing it after the war ended? To keep watching men die for nothing? During the war, at least there was a point. We were clearing mines so our army could advance, so we could win. There was purpose, however horrible. After the war, we were just janitors, cleaning up the mess, and still dying. I requested transfer, got denied. Essential personnel, they said. Need experienced men for demining operations. Experienced. That's what they called it. Like this was a skill I should be proud of. I was good at it. That was the sick part. I'd developed instincts, could tell where mines would be before I swept, could feel wrong ground under my feet, could sense booby traps. I'd become an expert at finding death before it found me. And I hated it. Hated the skill. Hated that I was good at something so horrible. Hated that I'd survived when better men hadn't. Why me? Why was I still here when Martinez, Thompson, Wilson, Parker, and all the others were gone? What made me special? What gave me the right? Nothing. Just luck. Random chance. I'd stepped in the right places and they'd stepped in the wrong ones. That's all survival was. Luck. One night, drunk on German schnapps we'd liberated, I told Kowalski I was going to request discharge on psychological grounds. Say I couldn't do it anymore. None of us can do it anymore, he said, but we're the only ones who know how. He was right. We were stuck, trapped by our own competence. We couldn't leave because we were too good at staying alive. And every day we didn't leave, we rolled the dice again. I stayed, kept clearing mines through the summer of '45. Finally got sent home in September. 13 months in Europe. 13 months of probing, sweeping, disarming, watching men disappear. The day I left, I swore I'd never touch a mine detector again. Never probe another suspicious patch of ground. Never disarm another explosive. I kept that promise, but I also couldn't stop looking. Even now, walking down a street, I'm scanning the ground. Hiking in the woods, I'm watching for disturbed earth. Every suspicious shadow, every unusual object, my brain catalogs it. Looking for mines that aren't there. The war trained me too well, made me see death everywhere. And sometimes, even now, decades later, I'm right. Came back to Philadelphia in October 1945. Heroes welcome, parades, my picture in the paper. Local boy survives Europe campaign. Survived. Like that was an achievement. I tried to go back to Pennsylvania, finish my engineering degree, maybe build those bridges I'd wanted to build. Couldn't do it. Couldn't focus on the math, the physics. Couldn't care about load calculations and stress ratios. Kept thinking, what's the point? Any bridge I build, someone could destroy it with a few mines. Everything we build, someone else can destroy. Why build when destruction is so much easier? I left school, drifted for a while, worked construction, manual labor, nothing that required thinking, couldn't handle responsibility, couldn't handle making decisions where mistakes might kill someone. I'd made enough of those decisions, made enough mistakes. Got married in '48, good woman, patient. She tried to understand, asked me once about the war. I told her about the engineering work, the bridges we built, the roads we repaired, left out the mines, left out the dying, left out everything that mattered. She knew I was hiding something, but she didn't push. Maybe she didn't want to know. We had kids, 2 boys. I couldn't let them play in the yard, not at first. Had to check every inch of it myself. Looking for what? Mines in Philadelphia suburbs? Didn't matter. Had to check. My wife thought I was crazy. Maybe I was. The boys wanted to dig in the dirt like kids do. Build forts, play war. I couldn't let them. Got angry, overreactive, scared them. How do you explain to a child that the ground might explode? That every shovel of dirt might be their last? You can't. So you look crazy instead. I see the news now. Vietnam, Cambodia. All those countries covered in mines and unexploded ordnance. Kids getting blown up playing in fields. Farmers dying plowing land that should be safe. And I know we did that. We left those mines, just like the Germans left theirs in France. Some farmer in France probably still dies every year hitting a mine we missed. Some kid finds an old shell and picks it up. 70 years later, still killing people. That's the real legacy of war. Not the victories or the defeats. Not the battles or the heroes. The unexploded ordnance. The mines left behind. Death that keeps killing long after everyone who planted them is gone. I'm 68 years old now. The war ended 44 years ago. I've lived longer after the war than I'd lived before it. But I never really left France. Part of me is still there. Still on my belly in the mud, probing for mines. Still watching Wilson disappear. Still covered in Martinez's blood. Still wondering when my luck will run out. They say combat engineers built the roads to victory, cleared the way for the armies to advance. Critical work, heroic work. But every road we cleared, we walked knowing any step might be our last. Every mine we found, we disarmed knowing we might die doing it. We didn't build a way forward, we just tried not to die going there. Most of us failed. I just failed slower than the others. We never came back.